to the Renzoris. It is a weekend, and of course, abandu banimwenda baka celebrating the weekend of today, and definitely chikabi ni chibuya kusibu. Ekisathiro Ky'Ebyamasatha every single Saturday ilitsuka saha isatu eshenjacha ili kasaha itanu. Of course, tukabye tunimwenda bolobolo. Eskuru eye Father Kanyonza Memorial School hima abakakubirinde mubuti ubyuka falo mwana wawuye Kanyonza nerekande suwendi byuka yikuba yabwomo ebyatukabu abe no muno mwenda abakambelangira munakubirinde we are more than advertising, only that tukabe tukabaletera omwisa owelangirinde abana benyuma yokwa skuru eyitolerene abo abali bakayomba amasukuru awali hali busanane shambera esikabyayu o emibere bakandulingiramo abana benyu gakubirinde Father Kanyonza Memorial School hima yikakuletera chuhakuhi omwa district eye kasesheno so nabwe chimubuti ngende kusaba ndolekere byukafera wo muisa oweritwa lo mwana wawuye Father Kanyonza chikabye chikayamba ewe kande chikayamba no mwana wawo eribya inakatunga erisomesibwa eri omulembe eribi nakakulo mwambere iwene esi wangabi ukayikuba abomo iwamenyerera ndekende ko mwasuwe kisomo ye Father Kanyonza Memorial School hima ni boarding kule abana bo bukali nabo bulume, and of course irelangirinde chindo cho omabya ukachihamba ninje a producer Joka, a producer Ekisathiro, and of course ngane na chief senior citizen owakahayika kandi ni delegate owa Kasese okwa Kitara region, and of course ini steward omwa Kasese hano, of course ni president wa steward omwa Kasese hano chiwa kachetwala sali wakamwetse mbaku definitely tunina ekiru kya munabwire of course ndi abya CEO owe Kasese District Football Association bamabye baka ibakamwe hako responsibility eyungale kana yinda habwa eritungesha responsibilities zisinene abamabye bakamutikula eyinde meheke ngende saba chief awubye ukaramuka yokwa mu samaliriwe Renzori TV then twangabye tukayongera mbere
ya wasinja producer Joka kandi abatkwamiro kwa Renzori TV gokuwa nabiribuwa ngali Chief Wilson senior citizen wakahayika kandi babiri babinyago responsibility eribya CEO we DFA na rumba mbo CEO we province so Renzori province ninjinga twalemere muyayi ibutongole
okay
mwazinje binatukwamire kwa Ekisathiro Ky'Ebyamasatha eritsuko hutwa basihira kandi njono ngamasubura
okay aboterev enyo aho tukayatandikira ekiro kya munabwire tukatandikira omwa wusa Kasese ball games 1 sichinaenda emulirwa no mwa district eye Kasese no mukinindi twatungire mu delay nyikinyike ekareka itwaenda bolobolo but omukama ni mubuya ende emipira ine mwenda emuliro of course ndi ebiro bibiri byetulabire hanyuma cyabya kiro kya Thursday motukanatunga emipira eya Kasese hano eya maskuru district quarter finals that means inti more than amaskuru 52 awabina ka participatinga omwa mipira yo mwakono then ekiro echa Thursday twabye tukatunga esya sukuru 8 ababengwa semabengwa ababya baliri omwa constituencies babiri omwa constituencies in that means inti omwa Bukonzo county, that is Bukonzo West and of course Bukonzo East then omwa Busongora county, that means inti Busongora South municipality and Busongora North. So eshisha timu 8 eshatukayakana yako elangirinde tukaenda atukanalyzing elisamalire timu shetu sha performing irendeke because I strongly believe litukikirira ya abandu be Kasese ndi district yetu nenyine na kutsebo. So when esha timu sha mabya 8 out of many esha timu sha ukanika out truly bakabi babikangania a performance singire and exceptional. Boterev omwami senior citizen owakahayika of course before we go there ekisasani ekyabyaho attention yabyahawulu kutsebo because indeed this is a knockout stage whereby indi obuli sukuru yabisiyanzire eribe katoga erisiala eribika qualifying kwa region. So these games quarter finals yabya very very, very important, even more than a final, because already ukaendo kwa final, but iwa bise chiwaringa a slot, kakutwala okwa region, and that is the most important thing okumipira ya maskuru. Why? A trophy, though it is giving you a dignity, or also nilibwindi ni champion, but I don't see the big deal, because already nti wakakopo ke district bakaba bako emitwe luma 12. Though in the echikopo mwa mupira chikabi chibuti ya money, it is all about money. But a competition no ya maskuru indi amaskuru amanene at least aka aiminga what the next level elangirinde akabi nakate kahu legacy eyo. So Aboterev ngali anza tutandike senior citizen wakahayika wotubwire situation eyabyaho just before we go to the games eyabyo mu abandu narete katekerali emipira
osinja kandi ngasi mu bandu bosi ababenya kasanga abari yasamalira emipira nganziri simindi okwamurundu ono a situation kutsi abandu mubakayijumbira umupira kusinga obutuko buhwere kwekera muno nyakasanga because mungarangira abandu bosi ebakayisunga erangira empira actually abandu mubatundukiro kwa Ekisathiro kusinga nabahe nabakama be tournament kutsaba tournament organizers nesetimu nyisanyisa esende musiri abandu ebanenya kasange banirede erisamalrene emipira. So in brief embera yabya UN kandi embera yabya ikere ikalendero muhe ikalendero mupira embera nenmu yabere rise dikuti muyabereho habwa akanduka ake akasumbu mu organizers especially ngo kwa pitch ya nyakasanga omuru habya esineri yiri bwindi emamuzi yamalete suggestion bitika tukabere samba iskuru ya bagenda
Bristol
senior secondary school ilo machidodo so Bristol mweka na trambere yiri buti umpiro siende sambao haba some factors one obukuku abana bakeba basambisha daika sinene akuse oku minimum requirement kwa maximum requirement yachi eyiri eligible mundu ari nyakakora nyakasamba two Bruce mweka ita according to the competition is already babiri uruchenye a fixture ibabikanga nindi tukaya samba Jesus so ibabikanga ninde Father Kanyonza ikasa samba kasese muzirem so esali bamwe bambutu sa chirimidi ngata saleke a competitions yamaya biruruche fixture etukenderako kandi mukotese wa muti because mumuzo myabiri kuti bata mama twara Bristol ngeyo kubanza okwesineriya mara kitu Bristol tuzuka basambana nachi ne mamuzi so mamuzi amweka na charike mpira nyakasanga iya raising a lot of pressure yama raising a lot of excitement ngebe ya excitement because bwo itunga bawagizi tukaya tabe kabi ya excitement yo mpira because yiwe kuti umpira ni game yochi eyo bongo so echimuchi kanale trauma and then in the situation mwika nabya whereby organizers baba biri allocating a group and kwa Ekisathiro che Kachanga that was mpira wesadi kuimane Bwera kuimane Garama and Karambi betuneru eyuru Ekisathiro mbura yaberewa so echabere kama ama special che Kachanga chiro kuna chitwa na bimirika leta so yabere tuburu fubuna ne Ekisathiro abasembe mo college mo ikemo bwa kino Ekisathiro situ college situ ndi chikolesya so auna hamata sala tawo yendembera yetese humya Ekisathiro eritese iwe yuru Kachanga area sekawanga and I think much can affectinga mu organization because ne mpira humu yetsukiri late kandi nabandu banambatokeri kolesya chi Ekisathiro yacho so ekinacho much kana leta embera eribya ikabanga ikanaho then mpira yabakali yimu yabere definitely a coach polytechnic so because of the distance abandu nasiya bawagizi betu amabere so kwa Ekisathiro buti ende coach ende high so abantu bataiwe butu so briefly that was the situation okwa mipira tukaendibwa ishetimu ngo kushenda sikasa because omuhulikiriri eyo tukwamiri kwa TV atolere nyakimenye ndi ishetimu twatote muna ningo kuwa nabiribuwa ngezu kabiri sima aba games teachers na head teachers abisha school muna nesho indi mwasinja because mama like district yekangani ndikwana ni mpira na kurechi anei twatote over 50 schools oma competition zisenu beto amarangirito tsuka erikana utonzerera isha school munani by the way congratulations to those schools abandu betu busongora twatuti timu ibiri esero Busongora, that is Father Kanyonza Memorial School Hima, the number 1 school. Yo muikana rayo nge school yikulirichi eilidingire Busongora kutsinge champion ya Busongora North. Kwa mayongera ku school yetu ya King Jesus. Na imuye siringe ya kabiri. Twama rayo twama somo municipality muhano, twama na timu ya Brosto ya masa ngeyo kubanza kwa mayongere timu yayi eye mamuzi. Mukata mu kasesebo kasimuzile mu secondary. Then trauma and SIDC Ebwera, that is Bukonzo West. Muika na rayo timu ya Karambi na timu ya Ebwera secondary muye sirina lidingiri chiminja hicho. Then trauma sa Bukonzo East. Yeah, that is East. Muika na rayo timu ya Garama kuimane timu ya Sadi Memorial. So Garama niya ilidingiri Sadi ya mayongerako. So twatuti eritukaba rangera ende enange municipality ikendi tukabere samba ne Busongora North, whereby Father Kanyonza Hima mwaka na hamba timu ya Kasese Muslim.
Okay, yatukaenda Buterevu. Producer officially toma bya tukatandika, it has been a preamble. But abatukwamire okwa Renzori TV, of course abali kwa YouTube Renzori TV, mwasinja kutsibu aho syo kwa TikTok Renzori TV, ngabindi mwasinja kutsibu tukwama. Definitely twamatandika program ekiru kya munabwire. Well, eri nyuma eri libya ewusa yabi kakasya a fixture in the Bristol Senior Secondary School, being it the organizers or coordinator abe Usa Kasese municipality mubatwamu in the Bristol Senior Secondary School bakangana ya indi mwabiri kiranizia akatikati ake skuru eye Kasese Muslim Haimane Bristol erese kirangu kubaba kabu amuliolo owa kakolanga games teacher owe Kasese Muslim mwaka nahandi ku social media the best producer joka amabwinde ebinyobe kabuyibawa inde a Muslim yabi kirira inde oyuwa kibina kalidinga omwashagoro either after the groups mipira yababa bili sata bakendo kwa semi-final reason indi babere bakasatisha semi-finals Bristol yika satani skuru eya Bristol ya satana china ya satana Kilembe Senior Secondary School then mwamuzi kasata ni skuru eya Masek obutu kubwa bili hwayo bakabindi mubayiko kuikiranizia erisekiro kwa information ya twatunga bamabwindi of course you akitebe shagolo senene o masimi final the fact is siba uti butu kubuli obwere sata a final akebina ina candidinga a municipality ngo kubanza oyo akebina amatebe shagolo sikini kesho masimi final akabya inakibya wakabiri ebe kebya maana ba matebe shagolo serengere ngo kubasitebindi Bristol mwaswiria Kilembe Senior Secondary School eshagolo shabya ibiri mwamuzi amahamba Masek gol ibiri then in the bamabya ibakalingire no mwasemi bamabaka tracking back Bristol amabina wite shagolo sinene and amabina wite a better performance compared okwa school eyo eye Kasese Muslim. So ebinye byabikatambula byebyo lakini games teacher owe Kasese Muslim lyolumwa kanakangendo ku the best producer joka amabwinde ebyo nebisuba amabwinde sahali obaba ikiranije inde emibere ikibe ya mabya then okubanza kibya determined esikino kona masoborera. So mwaka nabiri kakakakania before the game starts wosa yabe yabirikangania ndekinde emipira ikebi katandika saha isatu eshenja cha definitely twama isangana etwabiri tandika esisa hasho muka reason being ende muhabiri kakakakania mwamuzi yamingiro Ekisathiro Bristol yamabwaite si yandisatu mupira but the fact is that inde wosa yabi ubuche fixture trust me byabiri bya out of hand inde Bristol si yangikiriri erisate final echo that was the only mistake yewusa yabi kola in that maybe manner but of course in twama betu kendo masha semi final esha semi final I mean isha quarter finals umpira okubanza wabyenya umpira okubanza ngene chandikana umpira wabyo wakabiri because yabya game of the day Kasese Muslim of course in the inabibya wakabiri that means in the akabya in Father Kanyonza Memorial School Hima eribya ni hostinga a school eye Kasese Muslim omupira no yabya final before final because in tukakana ya okwa maskuru abiri Kasese Muslim being it the power banks the Giants omwamupira owe Kasese district tunacha sende kente kemya ke labire emyaka ilabireho elabire ngikumi powerhouse omupiira owe Kasese kisubuti okuwanga kihaho record a history a talks about Kasese Muslim though sitwanzili yali sube nyuma, but when you talk about amaskuru amabiri which are the product the Tembo Ibrahim Sekedi, of course abasati omulinga Al-Hajj, abasati omulinga Karim Ramadan, more so very many players babiri bakalaba omwabyala ebye Kasese Muslim. We are talking about a school eyabiribya ikatekaho a balance, either a dignity, their standard when it comes of football secondary schools in as far as USA games is concerned. So in the last 5 years, of course, in the Muslim yilwe ikakangana yindi banganabya ibakasuba umuhimba esikiri kiseni kyabalu bakakangania. So in their performance omwamyaka 5 eilabire yabi bitandika eribya ikasubirira ahisi compared okwa pace eyebabi settinga, but of course in the definitely no mwako wahwere Kasese Muslim muyabikendo kwa region kwe Kamwenge, of course bamatendiro mu group stages ekikakangana ya indi banganabya ibalwe omwa building or restructuring or the revamp elangiringe timu yibakabye bakahimbayo. So this year of course in the babi babitandikandeke, they had everything, the momentum was there. All the signs ibakangana indi they are ready and partial omwakono womalangire performance. Of course coach Ibra emibere babi bakaletamu abana ne performance mubakana humba mwali in St Agnes, of course in the group yabi very very hard bamahumbe St Agnes, yabiranze ribi kalidinga a group ekikakwangana yaba masawo mahumbe Maseke yokwa semi finals goal 2-0. So of course they have been ready. That is Kasese Muslim. So omupiro yo mwaka nasa obole mundu osina kalengekana ya indi probably a Muslim yikabi kahambe Kanyonza, though in the abandu abane never receive Father Kanyonza Memorial. Father Kanyonza Memorial School in the mwaka wabo okubanza participatinga definitely ndekendeke abyo mwaka wahwere. Though in the ononi muluma wabo wakasatu participatinga omwamipira Ekisathiro. You cannot compare them ne Kasese Muslim. But we are talking about a Father Kanyonza with a long plan project, because I am a chief executive officer of Father Kanyonza football team, both boys and girls. So a plan yetu wite is that langirinde twamako koti omupira elangirinde twamasatu mpira edunze myakanga yeyo sinanga kubiranga ni myakamenga, but we are building football elangirinde twamahambiriro mpira. Chendo cha kabiri a constituency eya Busongora North as a constituency, because in football there is what we call a competition. For the last 10 years our King Jesus ikatabiraho at the performance eyibaba byakakanganya King Jesus Rwenzori High 2009 2008 2007. Of course nditwabya tukatunga Asia team King Jesus Rwenzori High, but being it that ndi amasukuru ano abereho amani. So chamabya ekikatuka kataku itwenga aba stakeholders angaba nabakale Busongora North elangirinde at least we rise a school eyanga subuli ekitsombe kye constituency eya Busongora North. So those are one of the reasons, the aims eshatu wait, not only participating in football because amasukuru usiwe Busongora North fine nganze basimama ne Musata, but ere Saturday tulirusiru competinga tukabya tukeko mu town, it is like obvious abandu bakati twarende isukuru yo mu municipality ikindi kasinga isukuru eyikalo mu Busongora North like it has been. Of course mmalangire Bristol ikasata King Jesus, there was no news obviously into Bristol makanabi na kasinga King Jesus. So muchikanabya itukikala twa malangire tuti no, we need to have a school, we need to have a strong school that can compete all over the district before we even go to the region, before we even talk to the national. But tuuteretandikira hano. So one of the reasons to why we are building Father Kanyonza Memorial to cover him belangirindi, it is a strong team. Oh yes indeed, in the 2 consecutive times the Father Kanyonza balubakabya ba champions abe Busongora North. Omakono Father Kanyonza mikanasinga King Jesus okwa finals hali kwa kirukwe hima goal in okwa 0. It has yabya game embuya all the way ibabirisinga masukuru wa mani omwa Busongora North, because Kanyonza mwika nasata all the giants esho mwa Busongora North. That is Maliba Senior Secondary School. Father Kanyonza amamumba golu 2 okwa 0. Amasata iskuru ye Sadex Father Kanyonza amamumba golu ngumo kwa 0. Amasata Muvuku Valley Father Kanyonza makolana ye 0-0. Those were the group stages games esatwa sata. Then Bamasata ne Rwenzori High kwa semifinal Kanyonza amahumbe Rwenzori High golu 2 kwa 0. We are talking about a school ready and partial elangirinde bakaita ekera emipira yo mwakono not preparing for Mwamuzi as how very many people have talked about. No, Kanyonza, our preparations yatandika omwaka wahwere definitely ililu mukwezi okwa katano kwa kanyaho atwalirire erisatisha quarter finals Asia region eshabye kamwenge mtu asatya quarter final by the way nabenga numbabirende omwaka wahwere omwa district yose mtu kanabya bakabiri okwa level eye region eye kasese hano then omwa region eye Rwenzori mtu abya of course omwa chikaru echo musanja around there because hatwa unzerera. So we are talking about a school whereby this school is capable. Our school is capable. School ye Kanyonza si really pinga. School ye Kanyonza, our school fees yikakukangana ya obukulu school no bunene because a school fees ye Kanyonza yiri in between emitwalo sanju na emitwalo nga anamuuma. So that is the capacity of the school. So we have each and everything elangirende omwana wetu omupira twama muteko mwambera eyikale kina kombitinga. We have all what takes elangirende abana abatwama bateeka elangirende bakakombitinga not ndi bakakwameka satabuli. We have come out langirende tukaraba full bursary by the way because abana betwapo mupira boshaba bawutesha bursary bali kwa full bursary embera yatu kabatekamu nembera eri baguruminge langirende bakabya professional players nembera eri batekamu inde bakakula. There is life after football. So twafuka sahano of course it is very very organized. It is organized mpira we Mwamuzi mtu kana satau ngokutukana sati mipira yendi. We did not handle it as if it is a very big game because first of all it was a quarter finals. Katutwala qualified to a regional level. So our preparations has been genuinely okwa mipira isi yatu kesa tomwa kono. So mtu kana sati Mwamuzi of course kasese Muslim twamabya etukakola na a draw 1-1. Of course in the Father Kanyonza ni yabanzi bwateba omwa kitweka echa kabiri cyari tandikiro shedikesiringa ngikumisha lirabiri then Mwamuzi ayamabya equalizinga referee amabindye goal it is there. Sine ndibwe ebyo mwa mupira because I don't need to talk about that my football person. So definitely twamendo mwa penalties. Twatukendo mwa penalties Father Kanyonza Memorial School hima yamabya ikasingo mwa penalties 10 okwa mwenda. So that is Kanyonza for you. Chese nechinanga kukangania Father Kanyonza Memorial. Echanganze libakangania ni chahai. School eno macha zindi abantu banene the first time to hear it. But tulifuni mubu wako yuhano. Tulifuni mubu wano kwa radio. But because indi abantu sometimes ebendusi badibi hulikirira echindu chakula baku because chichindu chihaka maybe probably uwango wamachi ikanga. But Father Kanyonza erisinga a Muslim. It was not in the chasa by consist. Maybe just chigambula bya muisa. No, we have been ready and partial. And of course omuisa akasanga no wayitekire. So Kanyonza mwaka nasinge Muslim and that is the news. Yabya game be final before final. I'm going to analyze it before senior citizen wakaikeriasa. One, in the omupira mwaka natandika a Muslim yamakangani ndi they are the favorite erisingo mupira ono ababyo kwatisatiru kwenyaka sanga. Muslim mwika napasingo mpira. Of course in the amakatikati wabo you know baba wutijaze 8 of course ina kamenyerere langirinde akaswitchinge empira. The best midfielder is a player oyo akasato mupira maybe ina nimu chungo bongo where should I put my pass but also wamabe wamatakayo kwa lohandilo yikwa next pass wamatakayo kwa lohandilo yiwulo next pass ukendi takayo mbere then you need to have a wide knowledge ribalasinga because you have to balance all the side. You have to be vigilant. So we are talking about in the maybe area duels, ground duels, you know, winning games. Winning balls. Mwamuzi was good. Passing the ball, Mwamuzi was very good. So Kanyonza, their plan was to play a block ball. Echumba kanache korandeke. We play a block ball. We should be careful when that in the Mwamuzi ya matulumba we are calm, yes, but we shouldn't allow Mwamuzi libiyanga na to penetrating defensively. Kanyonza ya machikodandeke. But first half Mwamuzi mwikanda kanganindi we can pass the ball. Kanyonza what they did in their plan was to twingo mupira wetu to start a pass, a long pass, either omupira twika yo kuba defender bafilingewo. When they feel it, either there is that pressure, we tap in the goal or we use set pieces, which they did perfectly. Now we are talking about mpira ya maskuru. Abandu abanene bakarangira yume pasingo mpira. Mwamuzi did it perfectly. And for all long, Mwamuzi iyo enono yayo, either a philosophy yayo, it is to pass football. Always they pass football, iba kupenetrating till they score. So mubaka nasanga a team, naba utile plan. That's what I can say in the Kanyonza. Muika nabia ika defendinga ndeke. Baba wuti defender Kanyonza. In fact, wabambere Jazz 13. Oeba ketamu Rama. Rama then iwe irakwe coordination yiwe na Jonan. Jonan is a former Bright senior secondary school player. Then Rama is a former, St. Mary's Simbia player. So, mubaka na coordinating ngande kidho. And the line enambibiri eyabia ku Davis owe Kanyonza. Mwika na facinga a challenge. Facinga akanaka na kuba ketamu Pepe. So, but Davis, you can give him a credit.
That just
the 10. So, Davis, wangana mwe area a credit in the mwaka na containinga that pressure matters ndi yabe mu bya kunyinene. But I'm telling you, in the defense ye Kanyonza mwika na bya clinical, a defense ya bya mu Rama, ina mu Jonan, ina mu Davis, ina mu Anderson. Anderson ali mu senior 1, Davis ali mu senior 4, then Jonan ali mu senior 5, Rama ali mu senior 3. So you're talking about abana abali mu maybe a range nene akayabone mirere langire ndibaka holding kasese Muslim. Number 2 omampiri wano mumere and the midfield Kanyonza lost a midfield because number muka owe Kanyonza Joseph mwatibi inakasa tumupira ngokwachi toleren aba nambaka namwiba kwa makatikati amabula. So it was a battle eya Vincent o abambere Jazimunani okwa side eye Kanyonza elangiri ndi his coordinating now wangana area a graded eyo mwana obaketa muniko o abambere Jazi 15 omasukuri ye Kanyonza. I'm talking about my players because njaba nabayi singa ute cyanga basahirira and I'll talk about them. So Nico mwaka nakola mubiri munene kutsibo Mwakanyonza elangerinde akarotatinga he rotate plays a role eya Joseph kundi Joseph abinabire mu makatikati abani babimwi bakwe mipira iko kwa kisenge kwenye nyeni. So whereby and Joel owabambere Jaze Musanji in fact ni mwala wasira bumwende akana kukali mwa senior 1 kabisa kalitunga a supply kawunza erilwa ewa Davis because Pepe abinabite kwa Davis kwa pressure whereby number 2 owe Kanyonza angabere sanga passing mupira number 3 owe Kanyonza Anderson na yeba no mute kwa pressure mipira si iliko kwa Alan number 10. So we are talking about a Muslim mwika nabasarako but Kanyonza yamasiyala okwa plan yayo. Second half bamaleta in fact mbaka naendula just striker bamaleta Mark amabina inaka kole coordination haima na captain Johnson the one switch or ndina switching ba switchinga. So a Muslim here bidege can it as the way how they normally handle other teams and we shall pass and maybe we penetrate Kanyonza. But Kanyonza was not elibindi bakindi allowing a Muslim to penetrate. Omadi simbaka nabikola but Kanyonza the main column elangiri ndibaka containing ngachi a Muslim. So what happened in the Kanyonza yamabi katunga a goal and trust me referee akongera mwa dakika 5 of course Rama ndo basi dakika 7 bamatunga a corner ulikipa owe Kanyonza bamamutomera kumpira and of course maybe makana kanatikilia fall referee amabwe it is a goal. So definitely Rama ndo ma penalties but that is the game ya final before final senior citizens waka halika galanza utandikilia utwe yongereyo mbele
awasinja kutsibu okwa mpira wa Father Kanyonza kuimane ne mamuzi kutsi hanu tute kigambo kituka kulisa mamuzi and family ompira abiwene kutsibu. However ompira yimwaka nabi are motivated by the tensions around because one of the echindo chika influencing esha games social media na ika contributing achinene. So with akavuye katsuka ho bagenda that is Bristol kana resamba mamuzi neku batunge champions we municipality. So mwaka na raising so many words on WhatsApp. So esya messages yasikenda kwa WhatsApp ukusia mabisigine isine mwatembutinga bawagizi. So umpira amatungenye amatunge vibe. Yes, all teams were prepared. Very, very, very nice. All teams were prepared. Mamuza was prepared. Actually, setimu isimuska tugangania echisikasa samba. They were ready to compete. So preparation good for all the teams. Ohongalangira abe sirio butsebu 9-1 ngamendo kwa side ya Mamuza mwika na passingo mpira ndeke yamupasinga Father Kanyonza kandi yemu making a shot. Actually the first half ndusi wabe kwa Ekisathiro mukana but Mamuza has played. But now a question ya about a final third. You have played but final third.
Yes, exactly.
And the my game a mind what are you heading at because playing is okay but we need a what? We need a win. So Father Kanyonza make anabia in a way that muleke Mamuza itu passing but when we get the ball tap it up
tukolesa yeyo
and score. Ona ngi kerina binga nikeraho na coach Simon Owe Milan. enya ni watu boja mamarangiro muru myole number 9 ole owe Father Kanyanza because engeri baba kamwe mupira neriko lishao ukalangira oti Jenison is focused aringi you coach mwaka namubara ati njenga kwanza ko go chisa so every time they would give Jenison omupira ukalangira enya bitwa ingeme ngaso ende akatapinga within the box and ukalangira egoli ya Father Kanyanza ya teba o second half mwika nasa just musha cross ya ole mbomo crossing mpira no mwana mate mu mpira emwamuzi ni that defensive error bamasanga no mpira nyabiko rechi inyabiri nywai so ye Father Kanyanza muye sirinete tu winning to end to the next stage beti mwamuza muye tusabi mpira abantu bakore chi bakakasai banyumerawo and that's where the challenge is because kwa social media abantu baziri bamba mwamuza yema bikunze tukwina musamba hano emipira ni ya Champions it should always be the Champions. Father Kanyanza is a small team so ebinye birenga ebyo and you know echinga bakuru ndi mpira ne bwongo obwongo obu musembe mo bitukeribu derabole time ifi ngere so ukamongera
that's why I'm kutandikira an explanation here Kanyanza is not a small team the way how you people think. When you talk about omupira, football is all about preparations, then you need to have money. So Kanyanza has both things. So wamabya uluka lengekanya uti maybe nikasukuru kali alwaye from nowhere. Then I think maybe ulutere, but that is the good image yetu amakuru.
So echende chinanga sinasarangiraho. Oguna nabakundu mpira is a game of mind. Father Kanyanza immediately akavuyuka aka Bristol kaka kasaho they took away their players bamendo makam
Ekisathiro inanga baleta baba no makam
and they settled from there but at the same time emamuza yamasiara ini concentrated okwachi resemble Bristol which was not good to me because of which kandi tuka abasambi omuzi some of the abasambi omuzi actually they were not in for it so abanziti sambanachi ne Bruce but these things chabi influenced by the fans ngala saba in the next time because the team omuzi in timo iwen na last time chana tusudisaya chana echo ngasabende twamatunga emipire yi next year kozi na yetu kaenda kwa region abasambi muba distancing away from fans kandenge umuwagizi utungechi because I saw the lecture of speaker Okash biwaka fluising ekintu kiri ndi mamuza mpaka itanasamba Bristol but omamupira chikafi chekola because wamalangera nambira kuba nasamba already Bristol ye yabya first team to qualify so by agreement yikabe ne ya first team on the list but ekintu kiri chipushinga then ngatasa saba games tiche omamuzi. You see, the way how you handle yourself, mungarangira akavuyo kwa kaleta okwa bawagizi kwa halia especially ababikere mwacho mapavilion nemwa naba aba no kwa raviyere muwagere mube mubireko because omupira sigemu ya marwa omupira sigemu yeri influencing out chino chitata kulechi chitatabya no omupira is all about preparation omwana no manga byamuku because aba nabe mamuzi babya bana abanga naswiri Father Kanyanza 100% but injinganga wakiriti mungatsu kabarisa marete because even last time zinabina bita uchinga esya friendly games ibiri esya Father Kanyanza so inga so kwa Ekisathiro inga nasi etimu inga college especially Jameson that strike over there you talk of Jonan this younger player ayabere kururo mu academy abiko bright ya now the licensed player for vision akasambo mpira inyakakasha even big teams so ukabuka yasambi timu eringe ukataka wamenye tabana ba uoma pepere pairinga ndeke so ngasamende abana utuka imbira ku timu ya Mamuz especially that Jazz 8 I saw also Jazz 7 namarangera na Jazz 10 and that defender that their center back was a good player so ngasamende tubahimbire ku team that girl you see on Jazz 10 Pepe Numusambi Muboya Jameson we are talking about that Jazz say 15 of the number chikomucho ba captain so 16 ompira wena ndeke so by passing credit Mamuz eritunge game plan to win credit Father Kanyanza then secondly it's also about coaching immediately baba bilongara mushada kitano so a game plan ya coach wa Father Kanyanza mwiti niko vising because omalangera goal hoba taberayo omalangera no butuko baba bilongeramu okwa coach undi changabere chabita saha another it was tactical actually obutu kobanga naberenya biwinning that game esita endo mochi on penalty then ekindi omumpira mwindi omusha penalty but I give credit to all the players. They were all organized. Abana mwakana displaying a good football bamasamba bunandreke to the extent ndi actually na father Kanyonza yabulikira akuna kananga kakakole kakamisi
but it was very tight
but it was a tight race mwendo kuikumi kekora ngaraba nabe Muslim eba ni so determined ngai sabe for the future preparations amaskura wosi please deploy technical coaches, land coaches. Chamala kwa rangira that game. Iyabia more game ya very celebrative. Coach Ibra, Coach Joshua. These are coaches who all possess papers. And even though kwa touchline you saw the discipline was very okay. Except in the obuvuyu. Like what obuabimo mpira. Like Mamuz. The whole bagizi mbazili likalo kwa technical bench. Maybe most yaka
bakanzero
bakata kawembera ember yes nero ambo technically mwe munese mutu hano tukayata hochi aba substitutes because abasa ndebo situtula nabakaini basambi but abakabe bali okwaro purpose yo nibakabe nibasambi
accept because inje inje munga nalwana kwa touch line ngalangira kavuye kabibya kanene abantu abaleku ne bantu abunga basitu kabya nabo mu mpira bali mundu olusi out timu yakawagira majority of them ababyahu abo mupira baba kawagire Muslim kindo singendesa yere kyebuga then I saw in the eribyo kwa touch line of course na ngale mundu ngikere mu municipality as a person so someone will see me as if iwe oreka gwikinywe wabimusubirya nabe so I decided to move away nama yarebere umupira unji wene yewulusha Ekisathiro so sometimes we need to control ourselves itwamenyererende I think this is a game tubositule bandu bauma but I don't need ribindi ngendi subira mwenzi wayiye na because of football because munabiru ukasinga mujya kiwasingwa to me no munanga singiwe it would be okay because first of all twenge Kanyonza tuute a long plan tukatambula tutome iko kwa kintu it is okay toma ikahanu it is a plus so there is no way sare kiru nacyume cyukiswambwe Kanyonza either maybe aba administrators bamaleta anything like obuvuyu kwa Ekisathiro
so ngasabende ama schools technically omupira ne chindo chikaenda with the rule if the rule say we need only substitute the technical staff okwa benji kwa please accept in a good way muna kera tawa mbera eyerefuya emwanze kangania muti aba officials bamabya on your side no munga kanarangire chende when we are preparing these games especially when we reach at a quarter final simply expecting a team ikaso kwa quarter final in the niyembeho at the quarter final we expect the team very organized abana namberenge shashini guard siabo ebindo ebirenge so that when the referee says I need to see your shin guard the team is well prepared because I can do things am to the referee can it we have no that is the rule of the game because anything can happen
so of course wafukata ndikumpire cyo mabu wako echo ukambwera ki director muhia amoni mwaka na referee mwaka nabwe ndi I need shin guards which was good okwesabachi eshasini guard njamunga tibindi has done wrong so I think abya bikibuata then it was like asiyetimu shesi tungechi because in a Muslim abya muni abasate batawuteshi eshasini guard nabe tubabya mokala nabe Muslim nabo babya like 5 of them betu tumaka nafisha kaku embera nyine na kutibindi as if is concentrated on us tutingechi eshasini guard but which is okay
technically nganabe mwanangira ati maybe a technical bench for Kanyonza nganachikenga faster than the other technical bench
that was then did not balance
that is also
because it was not all about to look for Kanyonza as a team you as a referee it is your responsibility but also it is not my responsibility njinga joka singaziri abasamaliri bakachitwala nabe ndi maybe ngachibu wako ndi amattached to Kanyonza it is not my responsibility to care whether Muslim munga inawutechi inawutecha Senegal simubiri wayi but also as someone who was attached to a team eye Kanyonza I was also trying ngalangirinde a Muslim yuba nama katiriza yari tundisha Senegal it was not like that
I think referee abanya bichi samalere so ngasabe next time eche team lekinge sanoske sambe finals eche Senegal mukole chimusi preparing sibisi nabo semba abana nacho kutukuba risamba buka hiki enyambarai because sometimes abarefari abakasa malera even a game intensity wabalangira ompiro wa Father Kanyonza ne mamuzi abya out high intensity so referee akata kwa ene making sure that whatever is required should be in place.
So that is okay.
So that the game.
So
that the game. Can ngasabende esetimu esikayenda ku region. Please prepare and have these things in place. So that ku region ulekere yabya
uleke back
because abana bako byako manya mukoro kirebe mwende musare sya nyala mwende musare bokisi ne mutaka bikore umupira na bikaye bikorechi
bikadis organizing
and we are blessed that Kasese chairman o referees kwa region no Kasese hano at the same time eka deploying kwa province no Kasese hano at the same time eka deploying kwa DFA no Kasese. So let us get how to learn and implement some other things. Then producer, that is the photo I wanted. Womalangira how organized the team was. Abane bana how banne shaflaga shaw womalangira that man in the white, that
deputy head teacher,
that man, deputy head teacher is not demonstrating anywhere, but is moving straight with the players. Actually, that is motivation added to the word to the players. And like where you find Emamuza Mangalangira in the abasandi balebwabi and na abawagizi na management erwa oneka sura ya chiwo nunya sura ya chiwo. Then another credit goes to the head teacher Mamuza secondary in the mwaka ne kwa Mr. Oga. That man is a bright man because decision she was sikamo
the best
because mwaka na baba biru ko ramanya kavimanya mpaka tukaanza tusambe amwat no let us have it as how the competition had organized it. Can next time ngasa bendo usaka says omupira we mutu ola nyatunga road map. Competition should be competitions. Omundama in a games in coach let him be a coach because sometimes in munga nabia that's why I disagreed with Bagenda. I asked Bagenda that are you a coach or you are a games teacher for
Bristol?
Yes, because much as you advise, but don't go deep because abantu umpira ne move into the extent that mukari abantu kumi ayo so mi take ne move okukumya bose ayo so mi cyane munga ne move. So always go give us saying kwa kirayiro abantu barese bari korechi sibarabekenga so as abantu bane mwenda bakiri take ngaleka correlate n'abandi nascent parties nge DFA ngabari fari erende bani musomesi iwo amabura sikirayiro. You stay aside. Wule kibaleba kolechi betu wa machenda mukutsivu. Ewasa uti game time wasa uti matches played wasa uti kandi unase bintu bya secondary kuba kabe kora just ine chiru chumbe bintu bya siyanga nabya wrap up thing kandi unachess. So ahone sometimes mukande ahokana naba. So for purposes of developing football trend tukasoma liolio not until we reach there.
One inga uzerera, I want to thank Shatimu Ibirisi no Kasese Muslim and Father Kanyonza putting up intensity. As I have always said, a municipality wamutima wumupira. And that's why mumukana langire game wano Ekisathiro because Shatimu shosi I believe because ilwa Ekasese rikihima ningumi bibiri. That means in these teams they are near. Ili hao bino bibi lowa la mukateka kumutya wende bakalo machalo abantu bali mu town. But I don't see any big difference to me. Jenga joke. So that means nti mamabe manganateka hwembere eringangeyo umpira abantu inuba abalindire then it is a plus ku maskuru abiri aho baba tungiri because all in all this is all about business and sinonisha business is abantu and they have what they want. So the most important thing that angirinde aba fans bama picking attention imipira yali amene nakutsibu but the intensity the tension abantu bongo bwabo wabyo kwa mupira oyo it was a final before a final. Aboterev automba lwaye ngalanza twende kwa mpira we Bristol Bristol Senior Secondary School high money King Jesus College King Jesus probably siya King Jesus yetu abya twasimu yake ilabire because King Jesus yasembayo iri performing ande koma kwangu 2010 and of course yabirika performing ande ke yabya ini na coach Bagenda Jonex the man akasa akatekateke King Jesus yeyo Bagenda right now ali kwa skuli ya Bristol but before even coming kwa Bristol ni muhyaka unone mwaka uwo kubanza Bagenda awo kwa maskuru watibwa mtinami for example alwe shema akase Bristol King Jesus oyatukakana yako of course in the participating alisa bakalige kana yanga it is enough bambi eba isangane ndi tukabya tukakanya ngitwe hano injengali obi working Jesus College mubuko I know what I'm talking about. So ngende sabende aba director working Jesus omusha kulakiza nabalaba omukendi nyanyira I want to talk at the fact obutukubwe obwangu 2009 2028 director wenyini nyini omushakulu Akiza yabya katekamu amani. Look at extent that in omushakulu eribinanga namenyerera ati football can be organized. Football can be a one tool eyangaleted school eribya okwa map the way how King Jesus was. King Jesus obutuko obo twabya tuute abana by the way jenga King Jesus mu 2009 baba uti abana 10 obana 10 ne 10 if I'm not mistaken. But
obune bakabaka kwa school
kwa school
kwa hona moto kuko parkinga.
It takes actually chikapfalira almost like 2 hours erilwa okwa lunch erise tulingo mwa school 2 full hours. But abana banene ababyo kwa school ye King Jesus nje nasako habo mupira because ngaberinga lwa in fact na Trinity vocation ye Bushenyi before Trinity anabye kagwa. So what happened in the inje Nanzeribia radio presenter. Now on my high school we always amagizo wakakubura that you have to be where a vibe why it was King Jesus by then. So ene nganzere and the king ngende ngabi entertainment perfect. But entertainment perfect ngabie okwecherera ngemipira because I am aiming to be a presenter. So echande King Jesus church it was football pure. Football pure njese na King Jesus ndibanga yasoma njana enda yuni ngenda yihabo mupira bende bekaseramu. Now in the wamalangira bana banene ebyere soma chikabikiri obvious ina nasi ngokungendo kwa school yes ngasoma but akabi ali ebintu become attractinga ina but njangazere ndi King Jesus first of all vibe yangalangira ikabyo kwa satiruko rwenzori King Jesus ikaumba bandu ikendo kwa national because by then in the King Jesus omupira wa Bakari was number 1 bagenda jo next na ka training Bakari ina training na bojo so ukalangira ehali a difference nyinene oma district ye Kasese between King Jesus and other schools so Akiza mwate kemberende even right now kala ngizingiza zina ebisi uti mujozi mulero mungana balangiro kwa kisatiri wamberi yesi so kisu ya muchanganyiko and I was like attached muchikana nyahamba kujinga obi actually ne misoni mwika nato onga nachi ndeche yasonde linyiriria King Jesus zikasate kanyozo kwa hima kanyoza abare muchapesha golu ini abani mumpa singo mupira betu walangira balimbe King Jesus bana mukangatero mwabyala just because ndi maybe mwana we King Jesus amamba kapira and I was but this was not King Jesus college mubuko so motivation I was very very attached kutsibu ne King Jesus but also amuna fala initiative omwako wa hwere muna hiki King Jesus me personally wakubandi maybe director ngana nabere nyibererwa but I clearly explained to him now we ndi jengali obiwe King Jesus college muboko before that na idea eye kanyoza developing ayo mpira muna banze boye King Jesus yo muisa because it is my school I reached there me personally na makana na director for almost over 30 minutes to nimukanyaho but director ngamalangira echanyete kamu ichiri parallel okwa bintu binanza nabi namubwira ngamalangira sibya kola bete sibya kola that same day muna hamba obutuku oluda namayende kanyonza like enough ngamabu murasanga na director from makanya and he finally accepted bia bibara bya mukalangira hayi ekanyonza so King Jesus coming okwa chiriko nyakasanga actually perhaps na bandu babo bwambo send yasa but lucky enough amasa abyakasa amabye nakasanga na a team a school area organized very well one of the school yabitekaho a chaos in all ways both negative and positive but at the end of the day ukabya ma competition because a Bristol senior secondary school ne bandu bakya baba siyo even na bandu bano municipality muhano babisi bashe Bristol but Bristol being it that ngo kutatuka babira hanyumaho iyabireta bagenda Jonix the man you expected a team you ikabi ke quality ike competing and this is the Bristol senior secondary school for you compared that organization ye request heno I think the team etukaka nako ye screen ye kwa screen ye Bristol senior secondary school ikasange ba machidodo bagenda Jonix the man and amabye na bere menyerera ate wosa ya bere kola a fixture eye quarter technically nyumu kaswekera bagenda gisinde muswekera bagenda was right 100% to assure that akafa itingachi the right thing because no mwanga bitwere mu court eye kas eye katwanga na misangu eye mipire yosi bagenda was going to win
me just
and abere sha fines Ivi basate final but bagenda was right elangirende sina ngabi na bere hambi King Jesus technically nje let me tell you senior citizens waka haika football is not all about mercy omupira sibulindi ngende kukira obuli twamabe famasa tumupira I want to win I have tried all means elangirende ngasingo omupira why it was yabya chance yewe whether bad or good King Jesus babika nginamba Ekisathiro Bristol why do you want to force me to go back and play a final game up against Kasese Muslim.
Sorry, on the what have you wrong track. The only thing was when Wamagu not information, could knowledge about something, to cover around you, how many people have the same knowledge. So, ukaba somesa yali orioro in a way that is what amnyambo wama influencinga betu bamenyambo it is
that was wanganza ukimenyerere abantu bo mupira tuute shambaka always buli mundu akanza kiwo kikole kiti kirabe ekyakabiri okwekyo abantu bakanzi bikalo kwa metwe y'abantu. That's why nje nabyenga somwa town nga sasa Muslim mukana langirenga ne calm. Now do you think that nje singa obutukubiribu I can talk fangana irega nabantu but I was quiet because at the end of the day hakibi wakasinga no wakasingawa it is all about organization but in a circumstance that ndo kanza leta chindu kikikalo kwa mtu wayi I would have come out and I rise in a rising na wind. No, I'm not going to do that technically and that is it ina kubuli ndinje sene ndisatu mupira because of A B C D and then ukende nyilangira mu mube but when I want to fight for my school because sina ngali school ya ikando mwachindu chiwire director kimbuli but why did you do this really? I am there nabagenda aleho to ensure that a team you yamakola echo chitoleren. So to me bali ababyo mwamba kabaka muteresha he has to fight for himself.
Now chingarangira when these head teachers and games teachers really rangirende bakoping up barangiri a school as wuti aba football administrators as wuti aba coaches aba nei qualified coaches how have they performed niku bekiselinge inja ompira wa King Jesus and Bristol ngawata kubonga bisatu one King Jesus muya lacking preparation
obuterevu
because immediately yangabari abiri qualifying hima because impire eye municipality muya barenga ikasumbuwa ebangasiri basamalera etimu ya Bristol yikasamba yet erekopa nichikulo mamwe omamupira so, yes. Preparation yabo muya berenyike two on the game day bamasa even late on that game day abana bama balete I think abana bikunjeza babali demotivated because abana mbasirino kusha pitch
mbasiri kwasha
imagine
ngiza say now
timuka chama sema kumiche parking office UDF twama natoka samara twama itutabana bana bikingiza twamenya tikingiza yabiko lochi see and us but the school has a bus
yes
and remember these are influences every influence ngabana omupira now esikuwa bakasamba ize town ire mu town and King Jesus ire heku
ne town
we just needed funds also eriba mikisinga vapo
it is all about motivation
fund base yechi eyabali so ekichama kolochi chama la kinga under preparation ekiza yabi uti coach wa to qualify
okay
a game ya biko took or you coach officials amabi aho kwa akageta karengire mu kinyimbe kiba kimana mu kibekara mu kirashe echo so instruction is you samabya now King Jesus namarangira game teacher amazema no kuchi okwatachira enya gachuka buriwa inya kania na coach wali kuchi wali mu musiki kwa musiki bamatasa tano ndimuru binya nambere shabutu syaho naye mahikao naye nabanese bose akafa reporter abana nanga iwe imana uti already akakapura opponent ndarangira technically echakanze kurochi echakanze communicating opponent nyachirangira romwe enyachirangira omubaza then amani wabana ba King Jesus for sure abyamake wa masamarira even nuba naba failingire muba failingiri omusembi omulere okwakisati
yeah you know that kayanga
and that very young boy yes abantu bo bomusure mubyara manya omusembi but by rule bangana kubaninga because
of course maybe angana naona otenya ni mukuhibule but I saw that actually mungana kanya nayo ganashimya kayo bara not going to but mom is very very young
because by rule bangana kufairingi
bakubaninga munambane hima of course amasamara mucha director hutunaho we talked to encourage the young boy
so by rule bangana ambuno why did you fail an eligible player kwa pitch at that very age oma section ya trade kolechi erisa mberam so ekina chimunga na kolechi munga na chirangire then oma striking baba poor kiza jabisuti
they are poor everywhere
is about iwangabo tekera shagol because na ba midfielder bana bakala tukarangire bakambirira ya so ngabo inde team ya Kinjazi next time mu preparing inde karanga tumomo competing with this team injina ngalanga bakambu Kinjazi kasamba bagenda mwaka na mnyende this is work over because bagenda ngo mundu wa research abinya bi research ngukoki okukingiza nyari kaka
sama sere night na research yabe etimu yekingiza etimu yabo si kibuti mani
so ngasa bendre ekindo kyo mabuma kitsuka it is good indesa mo ku quarter finals next year mwashi ukochi okwasimi mutake kwembera
but how did they qualify to quarter finals you see hali qualifyinga waisangiwa bi qualifyinga and I think obutsibu babyo kwasha group the way how ngo kushabya organized because omabusongora north mubimesha timu shamani esho usiba master kuma group ngo yema liba senior secondary school Sadix Father Kanyonza and Muvuku Valley so that means ndia amasukuru awo shawabyo mwabindi bibinja abo babi ya total ne banafu so whereby the one or wala baho ngikingiza so ngo kwala baho ala baho omwachi amasukuru atawuti money compared to the other one so it was technically a mistake ya bakola because already twangana barefu na uti maliba SS either tunawuti esukuru nge Sadix yesi ya kumbitinga yataka hwembere mbuya but being it that the organizers technically babya poor then bama bakafula tera omunafu erisa kumbitinga mu municipality
yeah, but technically but if you see in the first half muba nakanga nijambu bangana hambira kingizaza
bangana hambira ko
Bristol
at the end of the day
they lost I think nakine kibagemu abantu bamenye ndi mpira isakirusha da ikipu because ukarangira abana ba Bristol baba uti real training engana maintaining within 90 minutes so that is it in terms of that game
so we are talking about Bristol day maybe we can qualify kwa semi final now tukenda tukalinzerera ntwangasubula na semis of course in the ekawanga mtu tutungo butu kubweri kaya however tukeka ne kwabya byayo okwasha semi final she bukonzo east so ngaranza producer tusochinge okwasha semi final okwasha quarter finals she bukonzo east however match twabya kawanga but kwabya suppose the Libya school erinyuma senior citizen makasoborera amabwinde emipira ida suppose the Libya ekachanga chama kangani banda kya mwachi amaita abatukwa of course abadde Bukonzo east now we are switching omwa Bukonzo west ne Bukonzo east so let us pay to be attentive to holikirire now twama bilo kwa Busongora north ne municipality nda Busongora south twama turning up to Bukonzo east and west abutere vinde omupira we bwera senior secondary school first game babya suppose the bakasata ne Sadi Memorial of course in the Sadi Memorial for a long time singa senior citizen because munyisingirie myaka Sadi Memorial ebya five babyo mu mupira because being it that injina byangabo wakera mama ko maskuru awabya akateka hwembera when it comes omwa mupira singa siwenga wabalebireko wabuwireko what the history is Sadi Memorial nichi Sadi Memorial inje singata wochingo mpira wayo but historically Sadi Memorial webukuti ni yabi school yokubanza magasa mwana so yabi school yokubanza yamatunge chance eritunga abana mubaende Sadi with the legacy of the former cow Hamisi abo babi Sadi so abantu abende Sadi bama byayo Esadi yamabi initimu yo kubanza yamabuminga yamatunga amani actually omobutu tukaenda tukakolama uko utataende Sadi ngasuta in the school yes
I think this is omamyaka itanu kumyaha Esadi ni yamata sason what on board etasana ndi yamajukuromuhe omupira
betu kugamba ibi na yabe so
ibi yabe yanda buyunda kende kusinga ne kingi because ye kingi jazi at least empira ya inasema nai kwa malangano kwa nesa nu at least inemu yangaika beto Sadi mwike ya masu bahis even naba mabura because echireta sawo tukayisaid credit kwa businga boto ranzuru and after omusinga maka Sadi ya Shambasa ni scholarships kwa yaba nabu abanesa nabana ni enrollment ne Sadi yira sahongo mwa scholarships eshobusinga and it was one way of reserve a school because the stakeholders when wait school the first school in Ikasese kena yikayabura so omusinga matakaye Shambasa and abana makorechi bamas and now the good chance and abana mababirias now even we have seen them participating in what in sports so at the moment singa out in nangakane kwa compare Side in terms of sports but I'm looking at the history vis-a-vis what is on board now so kalangira omyaki 5 10 said wangu biso ngalangira kwa kota eye district but now muyikabanika
now obuterevinti esadi muyitibya present after qualifying okwa district quarter final ekintu kino mungana kirengekania ku though singalenga menyerera the reason singa senior citizen nga una reason to why mubati
no I also don't know the reason why because babi communicated banasi a game ku story libyayi but said it did not appear.
So talking about maybe in the special menyero butse bwaleke batasa tukabya esitwangaba buleminga in one way or the other but also wamalangirende the preparation ngo senior citizen wakahayi kama kuwera history enge amatwerere preamble ekikamanyisa ya kiti maybe sibaliba restructuring fully and no mwanga biwa matunga ekitsibu but I don't think that the problem kuchabya chamani fanga bari fabere kinini sadi yamabi kitsibu chamani man chamaika okwa level school rishande kwa light retend yasa but we're talking about football and then omwanga biwa ferero tuchegwanga kitsibu chamani either maybe abana busiba iba lyafunga obutsibu but no mwanga amwa ferero muhalimu either mwana when a team y'omupira ikachisinga something for example ndi tukana lebe yishiba kurambo tatawo musambia holire either mama bitu amalange na musatachi gemba kuramba kisa yatsenja acha so we are talking about and I think njoku njenga producer Ekisathiro a team ya no school yesadi yanga nabisi yabya fully ready to erisatachi so iwaisanga ndi maybe financially obutukatebwa because special reason maybe financially iwasanga nende eshanda ekashabu because amasukuru ano obutsibu bwawo awawute amasukuru government yamanene and abantu abale mu sports so anganabara a cost inalangira in the maybe it is expensive you know bikanga bikisumbuye resoma ebongi bwo kwa shamaindi shabwe ngeshaba kaba
tutale kana resoma bangalangira ebini baranga if you qualify can even afford going to the region
the Buterev
ukalangira said already ya birangira communication and kasambe bwera secondary
the Buterev
we vibe ya bwera secondary bangana bakalangira mba hanu situ ndiko lochi
sitwendi
ya
but again which is not good
neriba nanga
you need to support about sports wise it is not good this is secondary school producer tukendi hikayo tukaya hikayo utwende bolobolo
because wa malangira ichinganala kubera the lex of Hamis Kao Hamis the lex of former MP Winnie the lex of deputy Kao brother to Hamis abo ni said so it said with those ranks yangana ulani mini area sokuchi
but being it a rank senior citizen omanyi waliwe bimuko bintu justinga tusobola obyogera enti maybe school yinawo chabandu abasomiri batya nje bintu byekasese benaberebelwa amanyi school yerwenzori manya kwa aba minister na aba minister abalane manya sadix these people they are not sports people it is better iba bambu school yabya ku producer joka because I'm a sports person njena ngana taking initiative na sobayo yes it is history
because baba malangirana tomata ndiko issue ya transport resaid area somota uni halimo easier sibali kwa main road so mini zeri asa tumoto pamapola cha sense right at least wanganima nali okungudango mundu yenzi Ekisathiro obute yele anga pakiri musambimu mamoma tusanga sanga naye
so the other person maybe no manga amasomere sadi alakini yo obongo bwe
sibuli ku Masata
sawote nabe ndakabe kango kwa maybe alo kwa TikTok kama langere fenano ko Ekisathiro sadi na reba tikeri commending amwe awo bya amaje but he has no capa na asa wote obongo bwanga yambachi so really it is bad chero cyo mananga nimukanya na muserero unasi muserero akabya maseke abya mulome inuwene inakatukira itwa kana no ya muserero sadia munduri bwa otene mundu wa sports kwa top level baitu echanga byanga musimira muserero listen kandi ya muserero inakakwere opportunity munafunga na meeting one day mu office ya mambra pan producer mwana wange bindo bya ukalangero mu masukuru nyango kwa mukabe twala kwa berebetia esukuru wangana langira ina utie capacity eyishe you but this school kai toka betu kandi nayo iyi ukuthi abantu abakakola bati so those people bamaberebya musarone yampwera abantu abo bamaberebya tutoba tringe board iyo Asia mission ishabo sisiro kwa sports then ukabise wangatoka now chikamambura ati chikakolandeke aba business aba OGs iba ikola mu mubiri babambo for example ngebera senior secondary school ngokuya kolire and amani oba mark akawuhira ko akuba makola ko they are obvious ilo ma boss colleague So amambira ati joka aba OBs n'aba OGs bamatekaho embera eyelangire ndi they can be in charge of bursaries. So I think it may be easy even me as a top administrator or the head teacher inabindi okay, let me do this eriko makomena na china aba OBs n'aba OGs. So sadi ebyo okenda okwabu ebyo yes mbaka nabya absent, which is a very bad image because tuli mwadigi twesa henu bana betu situ kiri mu analog ukenda na area situation kya mnyoko moto sasat na ba OBs na ba OGs emwa byangaba maba demoralizing. I call it demoralization. Ukabyango wa maba unzamani awa ndi masukuru bani mukani yako ukonda yake abere but nyimuka ikuku on that level even the side yayo kubanza eribyo makasasa muri wambuse mwatasa. So really chikabi demoralizing but sifule baswekera because buli mundu akatubachi
bitu bya mutu namu
tunoko isini final that means into ebera mpira mwaka nahumula mwaka nakolofayingwa direct okwa semi final because opponent mate kolate mati asa. Omupira wa kabiri wo mupira wa Satibawa omupira owe Garama the defending champions. Producer okende anda ukatukangania kwa bandu be Garama bale bayakatimu kabo ngokoka so sidesa but Garama senior secondary school the defending champions of course babi bakasata ne team eye Karambe. Bakatubira inde ebyabyayo byabisibiwen having get that inde chikamenyi karande kende Garama omupira bina nemwende mbere bamabye bakatunga a penalty. Babere babetunga a penalty. That is Garama for you. Kwa screen ya kwa. Babere babetunga a penalty. Karambe yama nachi
penalty.
Yama ne penalty. Bama kuzinga
chaos.
A chaos. Okwatsa tirukwe kawanga. So referee amabina kimana yomupira. Nereberekire a police. Yase yibika kolayiti ika imana ya obusumbusumbo bwabyaho. So abandu ababalabiri e Karambe senior secondary school bakakangana ande kende omwakono bandu banawutu mupira omubuya
nekanda
bandu banawutu mupira omubuya being it that indi ebuma byo mwa tournament yeno baba referees their performance has been down ekisene ndisa eri kibuga ende twatungiri what to call abandu erifunga interest yo mama school anu maybe omutima wawo kanza school nyira birabe of course indi ewasanga nende abana nabo basibali content isibata bya comfortable nerekola bati neribya ise decision esumana sikakola city SK
that is Karama.
This is Garama
and the Karama.
I don't know but this video is all about Garama. So of course indi abandu sibata bya satisfied nechama kola chiti nechama sarebwa. So football is a game of motion. Abantu be Karambe nanga natende babule minga because of that motion. Because amazima senior cities no wakahayika etime riserizayo nabe chikakwambako kwa mutema omundu ukakuchiniya wamambo etimu nge Karambe muyika na ulumuka yamatamwa ebyabyaho jabana betu sende baswekera because I know what you are passing through. Only that amasukuru wetu senior cities ni makana chibwa and mabirika la kasha what happened Garama mwika na falachi omupira yamasingawo and it is advantage mwika na the advantage the more so le menye ndikumikiria bakaba cha penalty mwangana equalizing chi no mupira. So let us employ the top administrators twamenyerera tuti omupira we yes anawuti abantu abakakolemberawo because I don't think that in the end administrator angana beri nakikirira yembera ribwende etimu ikola yiti yulu mukuyende irete chaos.
There are high chances one that the penalty will go out.
Exactly.
Two, either go to chip in hambo mupira. So when you boldly make a decision, you say throw an mupira.
Ukabiwa mabiri
actually ukamwabia mu team
the children a Karambe according to the display eyabyaho because already kwa region bakifara ku team muka. It was not in the udete singo mupira yene mukolofa ingo kwachi okwa next level area showing abantu the talent ni sukuru ndi yinemo the whole region. So ukabya ukakozinga bendu byiri yidima wala tekeyosi ukabya ukale misaya abana baliya misaya sisi team eribiyanga nakola yiti yanga yongera mbere kwa next level.
Even kuba bamali suya penalty kingere that means it will be one angana wangoma oko 0 now tomoto selectinga timu muka kuti tano ukoko standing a chance rebi imokata ba goro nyike wagenda but when you just refuse the goal chances ya indi bangana ba ira to team point it is a win by 3 goals. So ewalange bamabere yitabamu goals nene technically. I think that the USA and other officials are going to make a decision. Karambe bama instructing Karambe to move from Kachang to come at Nyakasanga and play a semi. Garama. To come at Nyakasanga to play the semi. Now at the end of the day,
Karambi yamaluzingo mpira. Okay. Abotera vunyo kubyenda bitomwa Bukonzo East na Bukonzo West, Bukonzo counties kushaenda sekaenda sitya. Tukaya umulaka kebwera tukende tukasobulana sha semi-finals ne sha final nga Ekisathiro award subulo kwa Rwenzori TV. You get way to the Rwenzoris.
Rwenzori TV, your gateway to the Rwenzoris.
Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memory School himalinu isomero eryabana bobojo nabisiki abo abakusoma mbararayo kandi batina ruhanga kandi hamsingi ogwenyikiriza Katoliki. Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memory School hima bano beine omwanya omurungi nambera abasomesa hamu nabegi bakwegondeza amezi amarungi klasi zabo ezo tagamba habo abana bakusoma hamu na A-level mbakora ama science hamu na ama arts babongeraho no kusoma ebyengaro harulengo ruwona eskuru enu iwite computer lab, a science laboratory, nerimwe vitabu wetemu library, ebikawutika yabana eriongero kwa wenge bwabo. Bawuta bahalimu, ababisomerere, omule nabu, abakagora ebizamu ebikwa inebu, nomunas oikawutika yabana, bakaita ba Eki'Ebyamasatha, bawute Asia clubs, omulie debating, literature, geography, haimanesendese nene kutsibu. Obuherezia, owe DSTV, nabu, bwalere, Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial School hima, nogsanga arugudo orwa Kayemera, Kyaro eki akinyamwenge parish ya Kurungibate hima town council Kasese district ehandikisibwe kandi yekirizibwa na ministry y'ebyengesa hamwe n'ebyemizano harulengo orwa hamwe A-level kandi banukwinire na INEB center number abakwetaga empapura izo kusaba umwanya guliyo kurugasine kubanza mpaka asine ya mukaga abale makasese esha application musisangane okwa Kasese Catholic Bookshop rundi nutere hedijicha okwazira musanju itanu abrinini ikomini ikomina msanju na zile msanju tanu nguma ikomini 00 atana msanju.
Rwenzori TV, your gateway to the Rwenzoris.
Botera venyo enyo nyini dala mwebale nyo dala kubira naffe mwebale nyo tugoberera uli ku Rwenzori TV. You get way to the Rwenzoris. Era inajo bosinzi dala okubeera naffe tukwebaza nti webale nyo dala okutugoberera sako abatulaba mu business ezitali zimu na zimu abwepo abali ewaka era abali emitala wa mayanja twagala kubategezeza nti tukyagendera maaso program ekisawo ky'ebyemizannyo era program eno etandikibwa ku ssaawa 3 okutuusiza ddala essaawa zibeera 5 ez'okumakya era kutusibwako Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial School hima bakugamba nti olina okulowooza ku kimu kyokka okutwala omwana Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial School hima asobole okufuna naddala nnyo kyagwanidde okufuna ng'omwana era njagala nnyo okutegeeza nti omuzadde buli bw'otuwa omwana anitubeera naye Ky'Ebyamasatha oba togenda kulabika nti weekyusa decision eyo gy'obosobola okulabika nti okoze bulungi nnyo mpozi ate tugenzako okweyongerayo n'embaka ez'amasomero bwe tutyo okay asine citizen owakahika of course ndesya timu esyasinga sikayendo kwa semi finals yesukulu eye Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial School hima erinyuma erisinga Kasese Muslim producer ngalanza tukenga ne Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial such that ndi twangaenda tukamenyerera because it is also another chapter twamenda ku Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial School hima mwikana singa Kasese Muslim okwa penalties yabya mwenda you know ikumi okwa mwenda erinyuma erikola a draw aye 1-1 a full time haliyo kwa Ekisathiro kwa Nyakasanga Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial yamabyeka qualifyinga okwa semi final. Of course in the school ya kabiri it was Bristol senior secondary school. That is Father Ky'Ebyamasatha Memorial School hima for you okwa screen ya mwikana qualifying okwa semi final. Then of course in the school ya kabiri it was Bristol that is Bristol senior secondary school for you anaye mwikana qualifying okwa semi final. Of course in the school ya kasatu it was none other than the defending champions Garama senior secondary school erinyuma yo mpira wabo erebina kabane kamo Chaos and Garama you know garama mwako hori mbaba katuchikirwa kwa national na ka uniform akubambere akoneke national is the national material. That means that in the a uniform chimale kwa langire ne kuusa and they are totally different. That is garama for you na imweka na kofainga okwa semi final esukuru ya kasatu yesukuru eyakane brother eyabwera senior secondary school producer mwanga langirali yakatukangania bwera and of course akaya tukangana ya bwera. That is bwera for you. So far wa masukuru ayu our representing ekasese okwa regional level Father Kanyonza Garama Senior Secondary School, Bristol haimane bwera Senior Secondary School abumbaka nakolofainga direct airibi bakaenda kwa region. Yes, anebinywa ebikabu wabwa ende bangana falesha timu mukaga. So kwa timu mukaga okabi kwongera ku Kasese Muslim
and Karambi.
And Karambi again.
Yes.
But it was dropped there.
No, but if they rule, they say they suspend them. But if they played, because it means a side mwe kana sambati musinga isatonyesa.
Okay. So that means in the Karambe bamamukiro buli anyways na kana kaenda.
But because it gives we can nanywa Goronen. Because
in the member kwa region yoko ukano mu bucket for la timu muka. Kandi we wa order mbo tukanze sha timu ni sisa. So aba labiri direct babani abafuli akubira then aba manyongera ka babirizi Muslim nachi haimane ne Karambe. So that is it. Now
we are waiting actually for confirmation from Musa.
Yes.
But at the moment the four teams
is a qualifying the show. A region you can be kabi mu district team ya Nyangabo. Of course Kibito Senior Secondary School ni baba host abo mwaka wangu 2026 Rwenzori region. That means ndio musamaliro wa Rwenzori TV I switch yetu yosi from switching ngayo kwachi okwa region. But I want to talk about the semi-final ngoko ya bya ikaenda. Semi-final one was in between Isukuru eya Father Kanyonza Memorial School hima haimane School eye Bwera Senior Secondary School omupira owabya ekachang ekawanga playground. Yes, buterevu Bwera mwika natunga advantage Bwera ikatendekeba wa na coach oyiba keta mufaizo. Of course nditwabe tufukatandika emipira munakubulende Bwera will be a threat. Reason being in the omambera yabalwemo yosi a circumstance in the Bwera oma football was not big as such. Oma football balu bakaida singirayo. But Bwera yiri yasibenge school kakolande eke oma netball. Na shabasa wesha sinene balu bakasiya bomwachi oma netball. Now I think Bwera yi echindo chaba watikirie is boss colleague. Aba OBs na aba OGs batandikireho echindo chibaketa mbasco echirimu aba OBs na aba OGs ababirira okwa skulu kwe Bwera. So definitely the ideas I strongly believe in the ideas esha delangire ndi skulu eno bakate kayu okwa map aba OBs na aba OGs banaotema mukono munene because mbaka naberira nejaze. Now employing coach Faizo ukamwiha egarame yabya ukamoleta Bwera being it that in Bwera Senior Secondary School they can do it better in terms of facilitation. They can pay the coach. They can do as how we were doing all these preparations initial makono buying new jerseys, you know, the vibe is high.
But sports wise
now badela kasa tumupire bakasa te Father Kanyonza Memorial and whereby advantage eye Bwera advantage eye Bwera you know yamabinde advantage eye Bwera yamabinde yimwitisa tumupira
from the morning baba ni rest even near house about
the one who qualify. Now advantage in the a disadvantage ye Father Kanyonza yamadi wuti battle baba wutu mpira woluhe
high in this game.
Yes buterevu amani oba kolesa ya okwa Kasese Muslim immediately bwepa amba mukendo ma semi final whereby echanga chibule mingirako aba organizers mukareka itwatundise team maybe probably iweleke indi team ya fero muisawayo or advantage yiwe na which is very bad enge saba tukaba tukateka mipira eno we invest in the game of football. Father Kanyonza has invested 40 million right now automatically 40 million. Now when we're talking about 40 million inje ukasa ukanyisinga egemo inga bunga nekanenda ninga nanga nasinga aba organizers okabi wamanyikola na first of all so watambereri obutuko omupira omuntu atukingira mu owe Kanyonza ne Bwera muvukana lwe Nyakasanga leta kaba nabo mu motoka immediately bamaenda bamasatu omupira ibamatominga only for 5 minutes preparations emijozi line up bichi that kind of disorganization
team
ayibi yabereho mula now twafukingira omwa Ekisathiro already when we are totally beaten but abana bamateka we fight it was a 2-all draw mpira mwaka naho ibiribiri full time 2 and ompira ono it was the first time team ya Kanyonza eresatira omasatu Kawanga ne Kasatiro kananga obutala so what happened in ukabya Kasatiro mundu wa uti amani already Akasatiro wako yakabye nanga nakadu inanga nakatebeteramu in out fresh energy mubaka nafuteba egolo of course I blame the coaches because mba tutebirishya goli bibiri by the way set pieces which is very wrong when you are marking Kanyonza when you are marking fukafuka marking ekona ukabya uti eri marking omusati wa muteko mwachi kuba let him feel you but of course wanga blaming abana and already babyo bongu babe luha ekona came of course busiba kaba totally down that concentration iyabikola iti yabiluzinga baba batebe kona
but maybe short pieces was part of the game plan for Bwera
you never know so equalizer ya Kanyonza yasa towards the end of first half because mbaka na satisede kama 12 ililo kwa dakika sanjo now eremenyambo tuwa situ hafa abereberelwa injanga technical person ya Kanyonza munga anabererwende tukasa tande dakika sanjo bama kwa mitambo namba abere and it is okay kusangwe bongo batu waba beko laboti but I wouldn't allow it wangu wuli ambuka ibere afa betere shambaka ngada chibuka muliwolo nama iblaming actually I apologize
because SM
I apologize
Nyakasanga
nga apologize ngo kwa bana bayaze team ne Kanyonza management nde munga naenda actually it was a mess how can I play 40 minutes okwa semi final
and what in Nyakasanga Garama played 70
exactly so actually it was a poor management okwa side ya inga producer Joka and of course I shall never repeat it again okwa even fangana ndo machendunge echi so equalizer eya 1-1 twatungayo first half ikayahwamu from end of my second half whereby in the second half Davis abina betunga injury number 2 wetu I don't know abana betu abaleri ababa tibamenyerero mpira when you are injured please talk ukane utinga uti injury omwana mwaka nale to omupira omwana we Bwera ina nimeni kwa Davis okwa Luhandi owe returningira ku mpira tekewo kwa chest ilo Luhandi lukuli ruti olubunikira amadisa ngataninga po mwana mambo omupira amataninga you can imagine amabina katusira ya egolu ya kabiri then twabya tukaikolizinga okwa free kick ya Vincent mpira mabi actually na second half ikahwamu amabya 2-2 amendo ma penalties then Bwera yamabi ikasingirawo machi mu penalties mukara ikasinge Kanyonza okwitano but I think we have lost this semi-final. I am not content the way how we lost it twenge Kanyonza but anyway we are focused to move forward so that was semi-final 1 singa unga natunge chiribu wako
singa uti chinene chingekane kwa mpira because munga tunge time at some round like however echingendera echinarunga rangira ndi 1 as tunimukani kwa butuku but still a chance mwikano kingo kwa Bwera whereby mwikarestinga yamasambe team eikalo match on my pitch ngasa organize chintu tukachirangirira echindo chitu achirangira as possible ni kutwa communicating because it is the same tactic that beat this Kilembe secondary because a Kilembe secondary na yika asamba moya sambe standard and intensive go yamusire goal in yemo baho yamasamba enanka yamasamba in the August anani Agnes
that same Agnes game yama
yaberika romo ya mupira yamasubomo
you can imagine
so yamasamba mpira wekali ne yamakolo fayivi yabereka saika sasa mbe Nyakasanga already ibaruhire ebe mayipulenga no butuko obatotole likolechi and they lost but it was a better team actually Kilembe second so it's the same team that it is the same scenario happening kufala Kanyonza by team ya very sting yamasanga na team ya bisamba high intensity game that's one then injange kanya kwa mpira semi final yindi ya Nyakasanga
ya Bristol versus Garama what happened semi final 2
mpira imwen coach bagenda and
Kawanga
Kawanga is Kawanga that goalkeeper
coach we Garama
Garama Kawanga then bagenda had the other coach on goalkeeper we Garakita abe goalkeeper Kabai amunga rangira 1 mutu asambiri mpira 1 bagenda na makala tunga mwechize but nge win you chabya chiko kwa Brest because already bana ba resting out but already ne garama ya immediately kalo muchi omwachi satero kasompira ishali ende butuku
bonene. So it was like a warm up to them.
Ole mpira mwako liringe warm up
Eye garama
bakasambe breast so masibane very organized. So that high intensity ibarua kuba bakatibita sharana bamasamusikiro mwachi satero. So on my first half omwana awe garama mwaka na biteno mupira amasiri mupira. So in that defending era amakono kusandu cyo mwana we breast go yamakolachi
yamengero mwa chitego
neraba abe garama. As you know, they are even the defending champions. They can do whatever it takes. Bama mupira bama limbo masingachi at least bama bela bo mwambera remember baba bana abasamba if ino kwa region mubaendo kwa national. So banasi echibaka kolechi echibakasata so mubaka nasu yabagenda but kurede jolo so ikenda bagenda because bunubu mtukubuwe breast mundu wo kubanza area so much area so mwaliki kase. So amaiko li team at that level kila kabenya bere kwa landa kisina ngamu na nyahago echo ompira ngamu nabika ne kuba sambibiwe singeta sayanda kukutsebe but that is what happened. They played 70 minutes abana garama mubatekera mbere yuwen babiba ni full fit and ready to play. Then inache ne munga nangiro kwa coach coach bagenda mwaka natunga lot of instructions yaho because yowe garama mwaka na making a swing umpira ama maintaining kwa game planning ukine kutechi
ngokwa
ine betu bagenda amende mberine renda kakora
amarashinga amapapa
amihaya bana aba nerubana mukora kintu kine kutechi ekineyo kandi bani fit. So ekina chama because mwaka na substitute kwa striking line amara try ndo mwanolia abya jazete something like that embere yatekaho muyitikangana yiti awi perfect what perfect substitute kusingo wali atandeka. So I think also baganda na yiti mu breast yabe bikorechi yabe ro. Next time I would think in the semi final is it was teka yichiru cyuma ne final maybe niko mundunya samba mpira minga ibiribisi guze ko samba either mipiri satu and above.
Okay, well, butale when the true as semi-finals they are very attracting because umpira usa yabikalika na mpira you see kanze hwayo but usa aliyambere mutima ngafo singa in terms of football keswa ngafo singo gutuko already shedekise simu ama abebara Fabio mwasa 10 ngo mane shedekika plus so iwambura utukenda nzere sate final bana chekopo kechi abasa singa
narina chende joka muka kana kwa chendu cha challenge mugoti one of the issues is challenge cyo mpira nesenene betu muka ko traininga echindu cha referee betu nganze tesarangire ndechende eusa it should go back to the rule because ukwaka soma mataka wabo kawambu when it is a game time ama school to linya transportinga abana basambi basa but at this time around mungarangira ma school sata chenda mukutsibu and I think this is one of the issues echalitireho ese challenges yokochi okwabisatero indi mipira yanu abana ba ma school bana ne kochi okwabisatero so ba and bakifuwe singaho mbere itakorechi eitahikiri then indi challenge yabere kuba wagizi betu ngasa abawagizi abakawagiresha esha schools and then tutubye camp because abawagizi na baba kataka mbere eikaleka empiri ya college imana kutiba tekembera kuba referee na kintu cha college ichako neri blocking empiri ewe singana ngata bana referee eka yiko okumanage timu atrampa kasana ngana kuomwa omupira betu kandi emushatimu omu school na nyimu kana abantu mwenda mwabuti mukabre ngaba abareferi batwaba nikili ukana gano mpira kwa mwa game inyendo mu office kutia kuti betu kandi nyiba na mukata kwa baboloka na esisha issues esina rengiri mwechi omwe mpira next time twamani chitu abana babyeka leka abana babyeka
someone is telling me the producer don't lie and mvuka na sasa dakika 20 from where boss guys yangemega kani abindu bya I know what I'm talking about. First of all Davis mwaka nambika ko batu Saturday kama 10 so wa mamuka na barabiri ni 5 nje official wenyi nyine waka kulembere mipira mwaka nambo ira tideki kama 10 so don't think that njenga kwa mita sana ndingasa ikwasa ya so again okay what is the difference between 25 and 20?
But still na ino mwana machira tete because DFA had issued
you have sent Saturday tideki kasana
DFA had issued the a letter kabu indi tukasamba 70 minutes and ninyaka sanga it worked. Why did it work? Okwesaidia yakajanga so uli uko kutubana mtu asambiri esha dakika sanje ichomo uko college ukaita but still na ubutu kubwa maleta below the average time. Now still favoring because
kanasingo mupira it is totally wrong.
Okandi bukaenda kwa region those are challenges suka kulechi esoka sanga naye so okwa program ngene ukakana ya echu na otekochi echu na oteko winu kuti chuno city kwene nekumba biko lechi kumba bikira ni zana chomuntu so ali wasinje munatukwamire
but remember aba matuka mu mulimo okubanze ezo mulimo wakabire for us we are sober 24 hours
emipira tukakana ako yitwa abesa malira inde kende
we have given you credit where matters and we have blamed where matters
so abantu bekasese
that maybe we want to share our
abantu bekasese that means tukatunge finals mungarangera mbu on Monday
finals mugakana na coach mwera sina secondary school na yamanyika kishatize
it is Monday and abantu babirengana mu timu sho bwarango ku HSL yenkunisa mu qualifying so mpira bekiwe wisa abichi kwa lonko na ayo bichi communicating mpira kesa nyaka sanga and this time around it is between Bwera secondary school and Garama the champions.
Abotere vunyo mwasinja kusubira bimu natukwamire a final ikende sabya katikati ke Bwera ayimane ne Garama. Abotere talking about the final whereby in the dominance eyaba nabantu Faizo na Kawanga. I think it is very very also important to talk about. First of all, I want to thank them, you know, langirinde
years
abana abantu babirahambira umupira wekasese which is a credit to them and I thank you very much guys. You continue langirinde mama tende kumpira on that level. Now it will be a battle being it that in the Ebwera senior secondary school muya hamba the head coach Owe Garama bama mutwala Ebwera then esukuru ye eye Garama yabatai tutukisirazia assistant coach. Now why last year actually in the Kawanga mwabina kakulu mubiri wa mani mane na Faizo was not there. I don't know. Baba Faizo wabyo kwa skuru.
Faizo was not there.
Even in a coaching course, I don't know, but I think he was engaged. Two, maybe abena na outing ebintu byungo mundu biberekinda bwindia Akawanga take charge. So Kawanga beyond no doubt amatwa team yokwachi yokwa national he played a final up against the football SS in a circumstances in the abina abatunga ebitebo binene bama iko kwa region bama bihama abasati amatunga abasati bake blah 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 but the guy was solid
buleka mwenge beto basambi 12
exactly so you have 12 players you played a final you give him a credit you get so Garama mwitikole mistake iri wende ikaleta another coach bama siazante bama siaza Kawanga whereby in the team anasiyo and managing ayo ndeke so I give him a credit. Now a battle yikendi bya katikati yikendi bya katikati inde truka lebaya in between Faizo and the Kawanga who's going to win the battle. So omupira no first of all akalo kwa level eya the way how we see it amasubo kwa battle ya bantu ababiri bantu. Now technically ngali anze tuhewo mwaba wagizi Bwera being it is a big school yote bantu banene kutsebo what blah blah already ni binyo bya betandiko kwa social media. This game is not all about excitement. Football is not all about excitement. However, you cannot again avoid excitement because the team Ky'Ebyamasatha excitement should be there.
Feelings comes in.
But Garama, we need to be careful okwibo. Because omundu elibini champion inala lokwa national. Ngata tukirira indi being it Bwera inde mulejaya ndo mabendo bindu but Garama here bali omakasatoka bakoba kakola kati
okuba nabere
nzamu birubine nakoti
okuba nabere
ngokuba nabe ngabana kabe so trust me they are the favorite you got to point to Ekisathiro Garama they are the favorite erisingachi
because with Alex at the moment I don't know assistant coach wa Faizo
na isinga mwasi
because I see Garama is well equipped
exactly
because he know to coach Kawanga you know to coach on the kiba or something like that. Assistant. Can they obviously they are professional coaches but not coaching people. Now a management here Garama with the legs of their director I saw that guy is animu consulting coach okwa timu kundeke. Then Abasambi because already they play division finals Bama and okwa national they are determined. So I see them more focused than abasambi ababwara, because anababwara bali kwa vibe eyaba obese nibaka pushinga ekihi ekindi. So ebiba kambetera kama vibe but technology
izo bangana nauta bando banemu but Faizo
is the leader, but it means
oyu wakamutsona omuheki oyo because omuheki we technicality
because amabini ya leader in everything akeko situtingo kwa buli kintu but at least Kawanga an out director eyike ndiko situtingo ku issues of finance nanya ko situtingo kwa mpira
nabe technical even maybe can even they have reached there.
Then another thing yatasabye kwa kintu cha you look at issues of experience in the SNO Faizo akakolanga assistant coach wa Kasatu okwa Lions beti Kawanga anemukole kwa Mbondwe Tigers and at the moment Mbondwe Tigers is leading a table echi a province Rwenzori province. Those are 3 districts, 7 clubs. So Kawanga is leading. So luck, now issues of luck and technicality comes in. So hukasanga nendesa Kawanga ama pesa ere megawa ke megawa hundreki to me neriwe itimi yabikolechi yabere bya hundreki. So analeki ndioria akendi bya mundu mu mandre membe game weekend shifting kuba sambi eya subo kuba he okuba coach. Then secondly ompiro wa garama ewenu tusonge mbele betu munga nangira ompira owa bakanga bakatse kawu nebero ndenyi
bakana nzeri pasinga bakana pasingamu but also nabo banauti speed
but at least yo speed ya garama yiriku turonda yenyi turonda goal because whatever you see yikabiri kurondenyi iri kuronde goal. So it is a battle we shall see.
Okay, abuterevu nyo it is a battle tukendisa lebyao let the best team win. Mpira wechiro cha balance kwa satiri kwenyaka sana. But ina sabendi discipline
matters.
Nichikulu kutsebu abagizibe wera musasani discipline abagizibe garama musasani discipline. A game of football yama nechiro yikana.
Yama yikana.
Kandi wangana fosinga ebendu iwa ile mesebe ndebya mbere eribya ngana kolabiti eribya ngana tambulandeke. So singa sumpira ngakisebesa singa.
So I think Omacha and Kumba to communicating a game time.
So what
yeah, that they just said the game will be in Nakasanga, but since it is one game, Yanganabia is a hikun. Kutsi Sahamona.
Okay. Apoterev, shedakika shema benda sikatambula. Then tukanayo kwa mpira w'abanabo bukali, definitely, meanwhile, as we close the program. Mpira w'abanabo bukali abya kwa Polytechnic, though mutitutunga, but let me try producer elangere and maybe I see how. But definitely the senior citizen wakahika and mpira w'abanabo bukali fabe byanga tukabirira wawo. Usa bawutere minyerera ende omupira w'abanabo bukali esa heno akakula
kutsebu
kwa speed ya hawo. Emebere etwambire mu mpira w'abanabo bukali si when kinunge ndi kibwa openile si when na hake na hake si when na hake na hake. Therefore it is high time muwalangire okwa group omwami senior citizen wakahika the best of producer joka ingabwindi I am totally disappointed nemebere bakabisa bisa mu mupira w'abanabo bukali iba considering ngawo as if wisa wote muaso because wisa yabi communicating ya mabwinde omupira w'abanabo bukali akendebya echo likote yi Ekisathiro echo likote yi Ekisathiro iba bikangani andi omupira oyo ni wakeko lati na mabwinde no
akali kwine institute ya Kisole
exactly ukatoka uti libo awuti omupira w'abanabo bukali akindibyo ku institute bwabere bukacha namatsenduka Gabriel namatsenduka Gabriel namamusoborora ndetata injenga byanga kanena kwa group y'Ekisathiro sindi bindinga ko haranira because already mwekangani ndi is disappointed inje ngabyanga kanyukwa mupira ngakana yakuwo ininga developing this is Father Kanyonza football girls the defending champions ngabi ningakana ya okwa mupira yini Polytechnic ngabi ningakana ya okwa mupira nerianze developing achi omupira therefore elinya abana mukayanze libwa bisa okwa echo quarters akasatiruka na kwire to me I don't like it and I don't love it so amanyoli kiresha point say that is why indi mbaka nachijinga imipira bamatwalwe kwa polytechnic but nabere menyerere ndi polytechnic nayo Ekisathiro cyabye kirimo amaitsamane na kutsibu ikitsapire kutsibu whereby inde chamabya ekikalemesa ya abana but definitely Kanyonza being it tukate kumpira wa bakali kwa skuli ya Kanyonza banatu mketu wanyira Kanyonza is like now an example omako wa wero makotu okubanza mtu afale chikopu cy'abana bo gwisichi bama kitwala comfortable bama singa iskulu yabya maseke again omako no maseke yamasinga Kanyonza but wamuwa ebintu byabyo kwa Ekisathiro emibere basara mu mupira oyo secondly eche tukostingiri twenge Kanyonza kochi wetu abyo kwa Ekisathiro ku UN now senior citizens no kahayika unese bikabyo mu mupira wa mwalangiri olubyo lukabyaho you have to fight ABCD siba kwibe mu mupira wawo ukako mulingango bululu bwanwe wako bululu bama bifalesha box bama byesibiro kwa standard bama bere kola batya uti libyo uti technical team sober 24 hours now maseke yi tukaba congratulating mwasije singa alakini obutsebu bwe Kanyonza obuli balemesa ya chikopo ndibwa kochi abiyuwe no Ekisathiro ko so therefore bama yamuyiringerera ende erisekiro kwa information yingo wa mpu abana omwana naika anabataka ataba offside offside muzika nabya offside abana bamabyo you know how ladies football is baba bate ko mwambera erikanganyinde tukanze libi hakupaka chikopo bayiruko okuru which is bad actually mbega kana umwaborefu buno fabiri birebya majority the society ni what ne kwenen because njanga nemo moko abantu bamabelero kwa barefu for long but ko ikubuko about enough is enough so first of all nabiri bu India I want to congratulate Kasese Senior Secondary School ebya barefu nyisibere bahamba kwa mumukane singe chikopo chenyi amidst how mumukane singe chikopo chenyi mwa penalty nyuma yo mpira litambula 0-0 but ebyo mebya posting Kanyonza whereby next time shall never happen musa tusinga technical team yefisi kisayina present mutukana le mwiribala singa tuti coach wetu abaseka atungechi technicality ikawunza from amasendeka UN etukalengekana atuti aho tukendi ikira resatire final tukendi bisi tuuti mupira owa bojo
meaning technically ne nyuma bisi mole ne nyuma bisi mumukana luzingamwe gap
mufukana luzinga
you had a gap technically
but again na tusiwanga tuswekene fabia fukuti battle Muslim whereby bosumagira obo wede and technicality yet when ninge joka sina ngawiri nyaka sa
but now what I advise the director is next time
we need manpower
let's have a full women team technical bench and let us have a full men team so is niko haleka hiyo request iliwa uta yes nungarangara uli kuikwasi uta technical team yetu muitibyeri ana entoma nanga
mama kwa mita ya hambera mama kwa mita ya hambera
bana riko abe wange na riko abe wanga na ndio Ekisathiro yes
sina genda
the only thing is let us have a full technical team for female football then male football and then we move forward otherwise me I congratulate Kasese Secondary for the achievement because even last time mumo ende ko region mama tukangana mutamukasa mbomo omupire timu yenyewe bakali mungarangirayo kwa Kamwenge prison and that is credit mama chimende ingana sana mama bereche hek I also wish to see you in Binyangabo doing the best so Mr. Isma mukama wa yewe Kemilan bravo thanks and congs for Kasese Secondary School.
Okay.
Ndale anza producer tusama lereno kwa mipira miko mwada Ekisathiro kayo.
Okay. Someone is called Nixon watching via YouTube. Thanks for the show, Mr. Sir. Producer Joker. Thank you, sir. For us, we are here.
Yeah, probably
it's upon to you, but I love it to be there. They are okay. Congrats, Kasese Senior Secondary School. Isinge chikopo cy'abana b'ubukari. Congrats to Master Isma.
Master Isma.
Mukakorera ya Maseke. Ngaiterera yayi. Congrats to coach Kaziwe. That is ka Maseke ladies team. You see, in a situation that in the wamabyo masukuru nge Maseke. Whereby and maybe it is not a sports school and this is supporting 100%. So I refer to chikopo echo nje to me actually na you will ndeke like abati pwale chibichi kasa sanda metrema eyeribenda organization twamata kamwe mani fangana falachi so it is a plus
and that team there is a lady who plays for Vision Ladies in that team and congratulations
So congrats to you, my daughters. Nganasi over the weekend muno kwa screen mwasinje lisinga Kanyonza because Kanyonza the truth is siyo lobire
mama bakangani challenge because Kanyonza yaya biranze tuhambira hano mwasinje lagayi mutri
mangana ko so thank you very much my daughters mwasinje kutsibu mwasinje lisinga chikopo tule congra amidst all the challenges what happened but the game needs to move forward. Ulu unaute cha ukanzi.
Ya ngalo ngano tinga ndi tunauti mipira mike ingalanza twende tukamenya because abantu chap. Ekindi kyo kubanza on Sunday tunauti mupira owe Mbondo Tigers ikasamba Ekemeland owe Province League. Omupira le kama sasa. Then tunauti mupira owe Province League where boys ikasamba etimu ya Budibujo United. Then tunauti mupira owa Buruweru yikasamba etimu semliki songa sabende tulangire mpira ye province then ngokumulanga ikunga namba yare munabiri tunauto mpira another battle enyakasanga singa unasi mpira yiko naye so tunauto mpira enyakasanga mwasi turangira abana betu beshika sese sitongana tutachibu wako mwasi murangira abana beshika sese omabara nganga nambire mujazo shika sese wakumije mito bwiri mpira wachi shika sese so shika sese omujazo banarangira shika sese ye mwa camp lero mpira munabiri mutuka tubesinga with more goals yeah because mwana mutuka nasinga with 1 goal ekambala mtu singa with 3 goals lero munabiri tuko pingere tabesha goal ndi erusuba yiwo so tukanza era was a sacrifice okwabahe okubagiza nasinga tukasamba timu ya maybe
kasata
UPDF ladies so tukaba basura ya munabiri nyakasangasa wandawe seven mu municipality mwase tuwagire mpira wetu owaba nabo bukari then mpira owe Galactico awala support ile foot ya Munjacha mubaka na humyao because Munjacha tunato mpira province Toro province yikasamba Buganda province wa Munjacha sand so owabinyala support ile bya wa mabere mubaka na subyao Chibanza yeah I think Chibanza bakasamba ne Rangers so ngasa bindi tuteke mwamani tuakire mpira y'abana beka tube yamani omupira ekasese hatana bibyali
1 minute ngaka producer mungana langiresha nominations producer ngana nominations esiriko
omwana watu ekasese
yes I just want to
peace
nominations na kochi wishikasese
na kochi wishikasese
bakabinde bakanza bahurukire omwabo abakochi abasingireyo ayibutare
butare kako
Ibra wasinjeri yesterday player of the month
Victoria and then
yes now these are the player of the month but omusatu okubanza owali kwa screening yetuko kwime but
oli kwa screen yao
yeah muhindo piece mpaka nande kanaba kabindi muhindi piece
yeah unasema na
not mistaken I don't know what happened but
it is license issue
I don't think but that is the name muhindo piece actually akanga utesha goal in so far omwana yo angana uko ni timu watatamuranga waranginya kwa national team if at all among in that form so I think I pray very hard in the nayi wenyine nyini I think yes abantu ende abana abakabareka ngo butukube TV abasatibo mupiri mwabareki babikwa TV because every hano ebekadi bikabeyisa ya omwangiriye yende nayinde elangerende bakatunga moral
and by the way changana to riche kasese ne twali tungo mwandu kalike yendo kwa national team so twetu muwe chingitu ya mwana
Muhindo Peace is a former player of Shema Senior Secondary School but also is a product ni mwana wabaga next man now is one of the nominees abali kwa player of the month Oshika Sese then tuwiti Kiranga Sefia Kiranga Uganda Revenue Authority then twatunga Mary Jian Itungu obatungu Mary Itungu niwe Jinja United Jian oyo
amaje kwa Shika Sese
aje kwa timu ya Shika Sese and amendo kwa Kampala Queens if I'm not mistaken baba bale mtu ala timu ya Jinja United then Miriam Angeno niwe Lira City then of course babo abali kwachi abali kwa a player of the month famendo kwa coach of the month a producer famendo kwa coach of the month of course in the coach of the month to which Shika Sese coach Isaac Ogongo Shika Sese Isaac Ogongo ni muhiaka okwatimye Shika Sese is a new coach anabya hano in fact last weekend and definitely abili nakasingi mipiri 3 so far okwatimye Shika Sese one of the nominees then to which Brenda Nasozi owe Boni Kosail then twatunga Mr Nicholas akabanda owe Jinja United itwatunga Richard Opio owe Lira City baba coach abo afutukende Sambola okwa coach of the month definitely lofutuku betuwa mahwayu atukasoma the program senior citizen ngende sa ndio kala latulwe hano
ya ngasima abandobo siba tukwamire okwatisa Ky'Ebyamasatha kwa Renzo TV ari mwabitu obutuku bwenye ko macha saisatu erikasa esetu itana setu kahwerako indi masinje munatukwamire kandi nasima abasambi babe Bunyaruguru United indi masinje Ekibyamala ndi mukwa natwa chance mumwe wininga etimu ya Mbale Heroes wasinja la gazeti wasinja eribi mukatwa that chance etasabya okwa winning draw kuima na kaka wasinja then ingabwindi Ian eriko saloon kuima na Morino kwa Centenary Bank kandi na mwale wetu Ellen indi masinje munatukwamire kwa Renzo TV ngama siyaringa ni senior citizen owakahayika tuzanga sangana nyaka sana
apotere ngasima Carlos Boutique to ensure that I'm looking very good every day and daily. Carol wasinja kutsibu mama. The woman loves me like nothing. And Carol's Boutique ikasangiva kwa chikurido echa ilikwesa heno ukoke kwa basi mbia kayoba nani summit
bakasoba tondara
ngekutwa live kwa summit in between Sadiku supermarket niaka korido hanie boutique china nene boutique ni aho ngamu ni mukali mu brown ya neno mwana bakaba ni aho banikera that is Carol's Boutique. So Carol is the boutique to go, especially abana bobulume mabyo kanze libyandeka kako yabendu watu uko tuko kanze ikida has no problem as long as you are genuine niso ikayi ukahaye byambalo ukanira bituha but let us not look bad tuleke atukikala nabe umuntu bakulangire one kibiri let us be organized kasese ni yetu tukula kunane kaya mabiri hene nabantu abali mu ifule rifwa henia so it is Carol's Boutique ngabe na producer Ibra the man himself abiri biwe Ekisathiro definitely the search tanga search manga
now
focused langirinde mukatunge cyamuri suppose dire tunga